Hi, I'm Uncle Mark. Welcome to the channel. Just working on my 2007 to 2010 Chrysler Sebring. The fog light is out in the bumper. I'm thinking it's a burnt bulb, but it could be wiring too. So I'm going to take a look at that and follow along with me as we switch it together. So the first thing I have to do is jack up the car and take the tire off, because we're going to have to access it from the wheel lip or wheel well. So just pull the tire off. Don't have to show you how to take the bolts off. I think you know how to do that, or nuts. I'll just show you where I jacked. This is not a bad spot to jack if you have a floor jack. It'll sit right in there. It's part of the lower control arm. It won't fall off of there, but still should use some jack stands. And this plastic piece is going to have to come off, just the front part here. So there's two little bolts here. They're really small. They are 7mm. Little socket will work for that. I'm using a thumb drive ratchet, which are kind of interesting and easy to use. Put a product link in the description if you want to buy one. See if I can find this exact one or not. And now I've got a door panel tool that will make this a lot easier too. Now this clip is kind of a two-part. There's a center piece and then an outer one. I'll put a description again for this door panel tool. Comes with a few other little pieces there. You see how it's a two-part, and it splits at the bottom there. So when you push that in, it splits it out. Puts it hold in. Should be one there on this car. It's missing. Should be one there too. That one's broken. I should actually go and buy some more. Auto Parts Store should have them. And the way these work is there's actually a spot on either side. See one there? Where you could actually get a screwdriver and just pop it up a little bit. So I'm going to try it on this one because the door panel tool won't be able to get in very easily. You just go on both sides or one side. And the door panel tool in there. And pop it out. Pretty easy. Now, and we see here again those little fingers there. You can get your little screwdriver in through there. No, just those two are broken on this one, but should be able to. It's loose in the bottom, so we'll move you up to the top here. There's one on this side. And then, what do we got? Should be one on the other side as well. If they fall apart, there's only one way they can go in, I believe. Maybe there's two ways. Anyway, you'll see it. Let's go back in there. Snap. Now that I've showed you that, let's get the rest of them out. There's one way up there. Move the camera to show you. There's two of them. So there's one there. I'm going to try and loosen it a little bit and then pop it out. And this other one here too. I'll show you a little trick for putting these back in because they are hard to put back in, these two on top. And this whole piece should just pop out gently. Make sure it's not cold. You don't want to break it. And we have access under there. Yeah, there's a battery here too. I've got a video on that if you want to see how to change that battery later. So I should just be able to turn it counterclockwise and it should come out. And there's the bulb there. And I should just be able to split it apart a little bit. Now the back's got a clip. Be very gentle because you don't want to snap that off. Give it a couple wiggles because it's got a little gasket that holds it in, and there it is. So we'll show you what it looks like. You don't want to touch the glass on the new one. I'm looking at it and it's like, I can't see this. Usually they look burnt. So I'm going to use a little tester. I'm going to try and power it up a little bit. Use it in some other videos. It's a really handy little thing where you can add power. It's actually a little multimeter as well. just hooking up where my batteries here. That's what connections are on this card. See, it fires up. It's a little computer kind of thing. There we go. So I'm going to grab, there's actually a ground pigtail here somewhere. I will do that on one side. I'll show you here in a minute. That does not look burnt out. Power it up, give it 12 volts. And it's like, what's going on? Why isn't it lighting up? Well, I'll try the other side here. Maybe I didn't have a good enough connection. It's good for checking all sorts of stuff like blower motors. I've used it on a couple of my videos for that. Other lights. You know, it looks like maybe this is actually burnt out. Amazing. Take a look here. So this is a H10. So I had some fun trying to find one. I'll show you. Okay, here's the old one. I don't know if you can see here. There's actually a piece of the filament that fell. It's on the bottom there. I'll show you a little close-up. So it is, oh, you can see it jiggling around there a little bit. See right there. So it is burnt or broken, however it happened. Confirmed. It's always good to confirm. Because I thought, well, if the light lit up, then maybe we have some wiring problem. And that could be too. You never know. So we see that it's an H10, but I went to the couple auto parts stores. No one had an H10. And then I see, oh, there's two numbers under. There's H10 and there's this 9145. I didn't realize that that other number is actually the number of the bulb too. So anyway, as you saw in the package, it said it was a 9145, but it didn't say anything about the H10. Yeah, they had an H9 and they had an H11 at a couple places I went to. Good thing this parts store was smart enough. They said, what kind of vehicle was it on? They looked it up and it's like, So this just goes back in. You saw I clicked it on there and it turns clockwise. It only fits in one way. And before I put everything together, I'm going to turn the lights on and make sure it works. Just hate to go through all that trouble. There we go. On and off. Works. Put the plastic back on. Now in this car, it's got those two little clips in there that two bolts actually screw into. And this actually, parts of it sit on the outside, and parts of it sit on the inside. I think the bottom sits on the outside, the side sits on the inside. And I believe the top does too. There we go. Try and put it in place. It's a little fiddly till you get something holding it in there. So I'm going to do these two first, the little 7mm bolts. I'm not going to tighten them really tight. I'm just going to kind of not even snug them up just in this and they don't fall out for now. Because this is going to take some jiggling around of the whole unit. The whole inner fender. And you can see right there, didn't line up. That's going to happen a few more times. Now this is really bugging me about those 2 or 3 clips that are broken on the bottom. I should take one off and go to the parts store and see if I can get some. Anyway, if you can line it up, just go in there and then give them a push. Snaps in. It's that easy. Of course, I mentioned that those 2 are broken. Here's one here, and you'll see that it doesn't really line up either. You got to up, down, move it around. Where'd that clip go now? Goes in. You can tap with a hammer if you have to the back of your screwdriver. A couple on the top there too. Now those are a little tricky. Maybe I should do the one on the right first, closest to the strut. Give that a little push up like that. These are the easy ones. Line it up in there and then give it a push. Now the 2 tough ones are way up. This is hard to, because you've got another piece of plastic you're trying to snap into. So I just found out if I stuck my hand in there, I could push on the top of the plastic, and then I'd have something to push against. See what I'm doing? So with my hand up in there, I'm push down and you can line everything up and snap it in. That might save you a little bit of aggravation. I know the first time I had this apart for something for the battery, it's like, how am I supposed to get these things to line up? I hope there's somewhere. And that looks like it's it. Just double check, make sure you've got them all. If you've lost some, maybe bring one to a parts store and hopefully they can help you out. And then I'm going to snug these up. I would imagine Chrysler will probably have them too. It's hard to say what they'd be worth. And that's my little thumb drive. It's ratcheting, and if you turn this little thing here, it'll ratchet the other way. Well, this thing's got me out of a couple binds there, as long as you can put your hands in. And it just snaps on there. Product in the description. Wheel back on. You know how to do that. Put the nuts on. I saw some video somewhere where somebody had one of the nuts, all of them, on backwards. So you see how it's tapered? That goes into the rim. The other side sticks out. So tapered side against the rim. It'll self-center it. And then, of course, torque it. If you have a torque wrench, I suggest you get one if you take your wheels off. So you'd be amazed how you think it's the right tightness or too tight. Don't want to do that. Seen where people have put them so tight you either can't get the nuts off or you break the studs one day when you're driving. And then I'll retorque them later. Drop it down. And we're done. That's going to do it for the video. Saved ourselves a few bucks for sure doing that. Just need a couple extra things, you know, the floor jack will help. And safety first as always. If you like the video, you can subscribe down in the corner if you haven't before. There's more content like this. If you have one of these cars, I've got a whole bunch of videos on them. I will put a link right there, just above it, for more videos on this car. Also, got a buddy, Brian from Project Time Garage. That's the place. You want to check him out, of course. I know who he is. He's got similar content, interesting guy too, and you know, maybe you can support his channel as well. That's going to do it for us for now. You and your family stay safe. Bye-bye from Uncle Mark. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. Not really sure why. I'm thinking it's a bulb. Bleh.